What's burning? What's burning? What's burning with KB?
It's time for What's Burnin' with Kevin KB Burns, presented by Bill Lacasse and SRG Financial Advisors. But first, please join us as we honor our great nation with the playing of our national anthem. And now your host, Kevin KB Burns.
Hey, it's KB. Are you ready? Are you ready for What's Burning right here on Lake TV? Well, I hope you are, because we've got another action-packed program. I guess an episode that has somewhat gone to the dogs. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Of course, we've got Professor Jim Paisley on. He's no dog. He's a history professor at truehistoryprofessor.com. We're going to talk about the Disinformation Governance Board. It's a little spooky when you look at it from the historical perspective. Trooper Brian Geyer from the Missouri State Highway Patrol's Water Patrol Division in to talk some safety tips. Just some things to keep in mind, folks. The lake is going to be a hopping place, and the safer you are, the better off you are. There's no doubt about that. We'll have an opportunity to meet a very interesting animal. That would be Boaz, the comfort dog. Boaz provides comfort to a lot of people in a lot of different situations. We're going to talk with his handlers. We're going to really not talk much with Boaz because, as you know, he doesn't talk, but he's a lover, and we'll have him a little bit later on in the program as part of What's Burning. And if that's not enough, KB's Furry Friends, it's all presented by our good friends at Our Veterinary at the Lake. Speaking of our sponsors, a big thanks to our title sponsor, SRG Financial Advisors, Our Veterinary at the Lake, Budget Blinds, Ozarks Barge and Dock, and we can't do it without the support and the great, refreshing support provided by the good folks at Culligan Lake of the Ozarks, the official bottled water of What's Burning. Whatever you're doing, stop and stay right here, because it's time for What's Burning on Lake TV.
It was a Saturday. Chris was a good dad. His water practices, not so much. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Culligan. Got a water pitcher for the fam. Pretty safe, huh?
Well, basic water pitchers are passable, whereas a Culligan reverse osmosis system can reduce lead, arsenic, pesticide runoff.
You realize these have filters?
Chris, pour it out.
It's not going fast enough. Just done with that.
When your water's right, so is your world. I wrote that!
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work-optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
There's a new radio station at the lake, a radio station that's geared towards the community, a radio station where you can have a hand in what we do. Welcome to Key Radio, a community-based radio station that invites you to be a part of the solution. We encourage you to become a content creator. That's right, you provide the content. Listen in at 89.3 or online at keyradio.live. To find out more about becoming a content creator, call 573-280-0532.
You want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
You are watching What's Burning here on Lake TV, and you know, we let this guy in every once in a while. He likes to stop by, maybe to grab a sandwich or something. If we've got some pizza, maybe we're doing a little something. But more importantly, we like to be provided with some history. And with everything that's going on in the world today, we turn to the one man in the know that we trust with our hearts and our lives. And is it sounding good so far?
So far.
All right.
Yeah.
Professor Jim Paisley.
Hi, buddy.
How are you, man?
How you doing?
Great to see you. So we're going to talk a little bit about this Disinformation Governance Board.
That's right.
It was here, and now it's kind of gone.
It was here, and now it's gone. Isn't that amazing?
But there's a little bit of history surrounding this sort of department, I guess, if you will, this board.
Yes.
And we can go back to World War II to kind of get an idea of what the Nazis were doing when they came up with something similar.
That's exactly right. You know, we had this gal, what was her name, Jankowicz, who was the Mary Poppins of disinformation, I guess. And, you know, when that all popped out, I thought, oh, here we go, and I thought it was amazing. And I guess they kind of stepped in it, and that they let the cat out of the bag, and everybody said, no, we don't want to have this. Now, she's gone, and the board is gone, but that's not necessarily mean that this whole idea is, disappeared. They put it on hold, they said.
Maybe it existed prior to, being put out on display,
yes.
And they thought, well, maybe this isn't such a good idea. After all, let's put it back behind the curtain where it goes.
Exactly. And, everybody was asking, so is this Disinformation Governance Board a good idea? And all I could think about was, in the past, how we had these censorships that took place in places like Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. And the Nazis were the ones that really perfected this. They did a great job. Hitler was notorious for having great big rallies and everything. A lot of people don't realize he came to power in 1932. So he was kind of feeding information to the people for almost 7 years before the war broke out. Mm-hmm. And people, basically loved the guy. He's having big rallies with dancing girls and bands and everything else. And they said, oh, you got to go there, man. This guy's something else. If you weren't there, well, then everybody's like, man, you missed it. You should have been there. So everybody go just to be part of it. Mm-hmm. Well, and he starts feeding this disinformation. He had a fellow by the name of Joseph Goebbels was his propaganda guy. And what was fascinating about it is that the Nazis very quickly learned that the radio was a great way to get the information out. And radio was new back then. I mean, it was the new technology, kind of like what our, now with all the stuff we have with Facebook and everything else, mm-hmm. Twitter. Hitler would have loved to have that back then. But what was fascinating...
I don't know, though. Think about it for a minute. They kicked Donald Trump off of Twitter.
That's true.
Do you think Hitler would? Well, I guess not. He was. He ran things a little differently.
No, Hitler did just that. He kicked off everybody that basically didn't agree with him.
Right.
And that was the thing. They had all kinds of opposition parties. They had the Catholic Party. They had people that wanted to have a Kaiser again. They had communists. They had socialists. Well, basically anybody that didn't agree with him, mm-hmm. they saw to it that they didn't get on the radio. And the way they did it is originally when they set up the radio system, broadcasting system in Germany, before Hitler even showed up, they said, wow, this thing's pretty powerful. And so the government actually stepped in for the sole purpose of making sure that they had control of the radio so that everybody could be heard. Just the opposite. They said, we don't want any one group to dominate everything, so we want the government to come in and have control of the airwaves so that your opinion can get on there and his opinion and everybody can get on there.
Now, that's for an obvious reason.
Right.
We can get the information out of you, we know what your agenda is, and we can act accordingly.
Exactly. Well, what happened was things seemed to be going fairly well, and the government was actively involved, and this was under the Weimar Republic, the government prior to Hitler. Well, lo and behold, what happened? Hitler comes to power. And eventually he works his way up to where he becomes the chancellor, the prime minister, if you will, of Germany. Well, once he's the prime minister, he is the government. And so now, just by getting the job, he winds up taking control of the radio waves. Well, there's where it started. Then, where they originally intended to make it an open forum for everybody, depending on who's in charge, now he's got it, and he saw to it that anybody that opposed him couldn't get on the radio. Well, when I heard about this disinformation board, I thought, oh boy, now, you can take whatever political side you want, but when you start thinking about the fact that we're going to create something that allows the government to, basically have control of disinformation, well, if you're a Democrat, the last thing you want is the Republicans to have control of it. And if you're a Republican, the last thing you want is for the Democrats to have control. So the scary thing about a disinformation board isn't so much the fact that it even exists, it's the fact that who's going to have control of it.
Right.
And so what we're looking at now is in the future, depending on who's in power, how they could wield that particular power. Which is really scary when you start to think about it.
So the way I understand it, it was created as a way to protect our national security.
Exactly.
We could be putting out information that is not true and thus maybe cause some sort of a panic, and people could be up in arms, when indeed this is more or less kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Allowing people to maybe say what they want to say and then silencing them. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there a document called the Bill of Rights?
There was.
And
yes.
and that very first point on that document had to do with freedom of speech.
Exactly.
So now we're going to control speech. What's interesting about all of this is anymore, people aren't hiding behind something else. They don't make it look like it's something that it's not. We're hearing basically more and more, especially with this administration, what they want to do and how they want to do it, and they're just coming right out and announcing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, to give you an idea of just how bizarre this was when Hitler was in there, I'll give you a quote directly from Mein Kampf. That's the book that Hitler wrote. Mein Kampf simply translates to mean my struggle, okay? And I'll give you a quote from Hitler. He said, "The chief function of propaganda is to convince the masses whose slowness of understanding needs to be given time in order that they may absorb information." So right off the bat, he's saying, you guys are all idiots out there.
I'm not being condescending, belittling, or demeaning, but I really am.
Right, yeah. And that's why I'm going to use little words.
Right.
And I'm going to say this over and over and over again until you get it. Slowly, yes. And so here he is, he's saying, you've got to turn around and convince the masses who really don't know much that, this is the right way to go. And he said only constant repetition will finally succeed in imprinting an idea on their mind. And that the slogan must, of course, be illustrated in many ways and from several different angles, but in the end, one must always return to the assertion of the same formula. One will be rewarded with the surprising and almost incredible results that such a personal policy secures. So he's basically, saying, I have control now of the media, and what we're going to do is we're going to make it very simple. We're going to tell you, over and over again in little words, and we'll get them all on board with us, and we have control. Now, bear in mind, this quote is from 1932. Okay, this is long before, he's gained control of the government. And like I say, when he finally comes to power, he has this fellow, Joseph Goebbels, who is his propaganda minister. all right? And that guy, here's a quote from him. He said, "Our way of taking power and using it would have been inconceivable without the radio." Okay, so here again, when you look back at history, you realize the media has been a powerful, powerful weapon from day one. And it works. It works, folks.
Well, that's why I got involved, because I plan on taking over the world at some point, and
you know, and
I had to get my foot in the door.
And I'm thinking about making you my propaganda minister when I form the country of Jim Coda.
Jim Coda?
Yes, okay.
We'll talk more about Jim Coda in another episode. Watch out, folks, because as we always tell you, history has a crazy way of repeating itself.
It certainly does.
And it can certainly apply to this Disinformation Governance Board in this particular instance here. But like I said, it's very obvious what's going on, and nowadays it's right out in front of you. And maybe that's the whole point, as you said, about the repetition and the use of small words. Jim Paisley, sir, thank you very much for your time as always.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to see you, and you stick around. We've got more good stuff, great stuff, cool stuff coming up here on What's Burnin' on Lake TV.
Enjoying What's Burning with KB right here on Lake TV? Have questions, comments, or suggestions? Have an interesting story for KB to tell? Or maybe you want to be interviewed by KB on the show or are interested in sponsoring? All you have to do is reach out to KB at kb@mylaketv.com.
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
Join Lake TV for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris, the Lake area's only local TV talk show focused on the Lake area. Local stories, local sports, and local events. Have a cup of coffee with Will and Chris weekdays at 8, 1, and 8 on Lake TV. Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
You want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
There's a new radio station at the lake, a radio station that's geared towards the community, a radio station where you can have a hand in what we do. Welcome to Key Radio, a community-based radio station that invites you to be a part of the solution. We encourage you to become a content creator. That's right, you provide the content. Listen in at 89.3 or online at keyradio.live. To find out more about becoming a content creator, call 573-280-0532.
Hey, welcome back to What's Burnin'. It is Lake TV and a very awesome opportunity to talk with our good friend who actually did a ride-along with last year, Trooper Brian Geyer. And I'm going to try this and hopefully I won't screw it up. Missouri State Highway Patrol Water Patrol Division.
That's right. Very good.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Pressure's off now. Obviously, around this time of year, you know, we like to talk to people in the know about simple things that you can do to make your trip to the Lake of the Ozarks, if you're going to be out on the water, a lot easier, a lot less stressful. And we'd like to kind of focus on safety. Now, we did talk to Doug Beck with the Lake of the Ozarks Water Safety Council about life jackets. We're going to bring Brian in to kind of take it up a notch, and let's talk about some of the basic safety things. I mean, we've got a big weekend coming up. We've got a big season coming up at the Lake of the Ozarks. Right. And traditionally, folks like to get out and have a good time, and maybe they don't put on that thinking cap ahead of time.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's kind of get into some of the things that you would like to see people try and adhere to when they're out having a good time on the water.
Okay. The first thing to remember is this weekend the lake will change dramatically. It'll go from being pretty peaceful and not too crowded to being very crowded.
Right.
So be ready for that. You mentioned life jackets. That is the main thing. If people wore life jackets all the time, our incidents would go down dramatically.
Sure.
But since you already spoke about that with the Water Council, we'll just mention that briefly.
One other thing that I know that you folks do, you reward young children for wearing their life jackets. We got to do that with you last year. Talk a little bit about that program.
We do. If we see a child wearing a life jacket, we'll pull up to a boat, talk to the family, let them know we appreciate that, and then we'll give the children T-shirts to wear.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's cool. That makes a kid feel good, and that kind of helps the relationship a little bit. When they see you, they know that you're a good guy and you're out there to help them.
Yeah, it's a very positive program. We have good luck with it.
What do we kind of want to get into after life jackets?
There's a few things. One is non-boating related. Don't swim alone. If you're going to go swimming, especially at night, have someone there with you. They don't necessarily have to be in the water, but know where you're at and be there with you in case something does go wrong. Children, always supervise children who are swimming or playing near the water. We do have drownings, it seems, almost every year by a child that falls in the water or maybe falls off a dock, so keep a close eye on those children.
Is that one of the instances where, like, a child 7 and under is required to wear a life jacket, even on life jacket on the dock?
They are on a boat, not necessarily the dock, but on a boat. Under 7, they do have to have a life jacket on.
It would make sense, though, if you have little ones and you have maybe a couple, 3, 4, and it's kind of hard to keep an eye on all of them at one time, to maybe strap a life jacket on.
It's a good idea, very good idea. Other things, if someone is drowning or is in trouble, it's best not to jump in right away and try to save them. Oftentimes that person can drown as well. So we want to try a few things. Try to reach them if you can first. Try to throw something to them. If you're in a boat or on a floatable, try to get to them that way. And then the last resort would be to go to them and help them.
Reach, throw, row, go.
That's right. Very good.
Some things you just never forget, growing up. But that is normally a situation where instead of having one person as a victim, you could potentially have 2.
Could always have 2 or more. It does happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So watch things when you're around the dock, watch things when you're swimming. But obviously when it's time to hop on the boat and go for a little ride, there are a few things you probably want to do ahead of time, kind of a pre-setup, if you will, that's going to help make your excursion run a little smoother.
You want to make sure you have all the necessary equipment, and that is a life jacket per person that will fit that person if need be. And of course, under 7 have to wear them on the boat.
Right.
And then one throwable. So each boat has to have a throwable. And the reason we have a separate throwable than a life jacket is because if you throw an open life jacket, it might not go straight.
Right.
So those throwables are designed to go straight if thrown correctly. So make sure you have all those things. The boat well serviced. Make sure you know the boat and understand it. If you're a new boater to the Lake of the Ozarks, Memorial Day weekend might not be the best time to learn the lake.
Right.
And if that is the case, go to a less populated area. Maybe if you're renting a boat, ask those folks where a good place would be to kind of get a hang of it. And if you're going to be doing water sports or any kind of skiing or swimming, don't go beyond your skill level. If you're a decent water skier, the main channel at the Lake of the Ozarks on a holiday weekend probably isn't the best place to be. Find an isolated cove or an area that's less populated to do those things.
It seems like we get this, I don't know what you want to call it, little, maybe it's a kick of adrenaline, maybe it's a little courage that we didn't necessarily have, and we want to try something. And, the guy over there just did it, and he didn't have a problem at all, and I think I'm of that skill level. Why shouldn't I go over there and try it?
Yeah, the guy over there may have been doing it for 5-10 years, whatever the case may be. So a lot of those things on the water are tougher than they look, and it might not be the greatest idea to try them out when it's congested.
We talk about boats a whole lot, and we'll kind of get back to that, but you mentioned something about people maybe doing things out on the water that they shouldn't be based on their skill level, and you sometimes see that a lot with personal watercraft.
Personal watercraft, yeah, big time. There's a misconception that personal watercraft are not boats. They are. Every boating law applies to them, plus a few more.
Right.
So you still have to be 14 to drive one. You have to have your boater safety card. We see younger children riding them, driving them with their parents' permission. It's not legal. The parents can get a ticket in that case, and that happens every year. And they have to be a certain distance apart. If they're above idle speed, they have to be at least 50 feet apart.
Okay.
So when you see two personal watercraft kind of doing donuts and splashing each other, that's against the law. And the obvious reason is if one were to lose power, you could run right over your friend or hit their personal watercraft.
And you know, I think, and I saw you do this when we were out last year, that you're more about educating people rather than automatically issuing a citation. You would, you know, maybe they don't know, maybe they're unaware, maybe they're from out of state. You can't always be certain. So your first priority is educating the general public to make sure that they realize what it is they're doing wrong.
It is, and it's not just me, it's the division in general. A lot of people just don't drive a boat very often. It might be their first time, it might be one time a year. So if we can educate that person, tell them the right way to do it, the safe way to do it, in that case, we've solved the issue, and writing a ticket probably isn't necessary.
One of the biggest things that I think we see from time to time here at the Lake of the Ozarks is a rash of boat fires that normally start when the owner of the boat pulls in to gas up. And we've, you know, I'm sure you've dealt with a number of those over the years.
We have.
But there are some simple steps to take when you gas up your boat.
Yeah, the main thing is before you fire it back up and take off is to let the blower on the boat, the ventilation system, go for at least 4 minutes.
Right.
That's assuming it's an inboard boat. If it's an outboard, you want to check and make sure there's no overwhelming smells of fuel.
Right.
There's going to be a scent of fuel because you just filled up. But if it's overwhelming or if you see fuel pulled up, then take care of that issue before turning on the ignition.
Is that something that would be typically taken care of as a reminder, maybe by somebody on the gas dock, somebody that's doing the actual fueling themselves?
Yeah, it could be. If it's an inboard boat, they likely will tell you to let that ventilation system go for at least 4 minutes.
It would seem like it would make sense to me to have somebody there to give these people, especially people that don't do it that often, that it doesn't automatically click. So we're out, we're enjoying ourselves, we're having a great day. Maybe we're doing some tubing, maybe we're just out recreating, what have you. And it starts to get late, it starts to get a little dark, and then there are certain things that apply at nighttime when the lake itself kind of takes on a whole different look.
It changes pretty quickly.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Navigation lights are required at official sundown, and that's misunderstood quite a bit. So some folks think it's when the sun is down over the horizon or when it's just too dark to see. It's official sundown, and what I usually tell people on the water is if you have a phone with the weather app, which most do nowadays, that'll tell you the official sundown for right where you're at for that day, and that's when lights are required.
Now, let's differentiate between the lights you're supposed to have and, say, for example, LEDs.
Yeah, pretty much anything that's not a navigation light that's visible is illegal. That doesn't mean we're going to write tickets for everything. You know, interior lights, lights on a dashboard, that's understandable. But the big LED strips that go down the side of a boat, they're not legal. That distracts from the navigation lights. It makes it hard for other boaters to see which way you're headed. If you can't see the navigation lights in the front and the light in the rear, you don't know which way that boat's going.
Probably a good idea to test the lights before you get out there and realize they don't work.
Good idea to test before, and if you're out at night, good idea to test throughout the night. When I'm on the water, I usually turn mine on about 15 minutes early, make sure they're working, and I check them throughout the evening and have extra fuses in case one does go out.
And that leads me to another topic real quick. What types of things should boaters expect to have with them in the event? Now, you mentioned fuses. I would imagine things like maybe a first aid kit. What?
First aid kit, in addition to fuses, bulbs for lights if they're not LED, and pretty much anything you think you might need. Just picture a situation where your boat breaks down, it's night, you're in a remote area. What kind of things would you need? Probably more clothing than folks would have. Take more than you think you'll need. Water, fresh water, out in the sun. You can lose water pretty quickly, get dehydrated. And a cell phone, of course, a charger, and most places on the water does have service, so you should be able to get out. But if not, maybe have a backup plan in case you don't have cell service.
Certainly. Probably not a bad idea to let folks know where you're going.
Let folks know. We call it a float plan, and it could be as simple as telling someone, this is where I'm going to be, this is when I'm going to be back, and let them know that information, let that person know the boat information, and like I said, the route and the times. That way, if we get a call from somebody saying that their loved one hasn't come back, we know, a little bit more about it and can concentrate on that area.
Is there a place people can go for some answers to basic questions?
We have quite a bit on our website, the Missouri State Highway Patrol's website, and then click on the Water Patrol Division. And we have boating handbooks that we give out. You can always call us, we'll bring you one. And we take those to local marinas, rental organizations, and they give those out for us as well. A lot of information in there.
Trooper Brian Geyer, thank you for your time, sir. As
Thank
always,
you.
appreciate it. We'll have to get back out on the water and see what's going on out there.
Sounds
Folks,
good.
we're going to step aside, but before we do that, I want to get a quick plug in for our good friends at Culligan Lake of the Ozarks. You know, this is a time of year, as Brian mentioned, when you can get dehydrated very quickly. Keeping some of this on board your boat, it'll definitely do the trick. Delicious and refreshing, as I like to say. Culligan Lake of the Ozarks, 573-346-5221. We're back with more of What's Burnin' coming up here on Lake TV.
You want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
There's a new radio station at the lake, a radio station that's geared towards the community, a radio station where you can have a hand in what we do. Welcome to Key Radio, a community-based radio station that invites you to be a part of the solution. We encourage you to become a content creator. That's right, you provide the content. Listen in at 89.3 or online at keyradio.live. To find out more about becoming a content creator, call 573-280-0532.
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work-optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
A move to your dream home should be exciting, not a hassle. That's why you go with the experts at Sunrise Movers, where we do the hard work for you.
Hey, welcome back to What's Burning right here on Lake TV. KB with you, along with some very special friends, including, this is Boaz the comfort dog, and the team that takes care of Boaz. We've got Debbie Graff. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
And Bobby Linenger, thank you as well.
Our pleasure.
So let's talk a little bit about the purpose of a comfort dog. What purpose does Boaz serve?
So our ministry is an outreach ministry from our church, Christ the King in Lake Ozark, and this is a nationwide program under the umbrella of Lutheran Church Charities. And it is our goal to bring comfort to those who are hurting and in need.
Right.
So that is what he is trained to do.
So how did the two of you get involved in this program?
So I first had it pop up on my Facebook page, and I had never heard of such a thing. And so I kind of followed it, and then I brought it up to church and asked them, because he doesn't belong to any of us, he belongs to the church.
Right.
So they have to, they had to approve all of that, and then that starts about a 3-year process of putting our team together and then waiting for a dog to be ready for us. We don't pick them, we don't pick their names, we don't pick their Bible verses. That's all given to us when we go to Chicago. So
typically a comfort dog goes into what kinds of situations?
So on a regular schedule, he'll be in nursing homes, hospitals. We visit the cancer center here. Sometimes schools. We're going to be over at School of the Osage tomorrow. There's also certainly more tragic situations, the ones we don't, we hate we have to be there, but we're glad that we can be. Such as the loss of the Osage student a couple of weeks ago. We were at School of the Osage High School that whole day. So
you bring Boaz in, and he just kind of hangs out, and if somebody needs a hug or they want to get close and just kind of check him out a little bit, he offers that, I guess maybe that calm in the storm, so to speak.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And Bobby was there too. The change in the kids that one day from start to finish.
Right.
At the nursing homes, folks who don't have a lot of family or something to visit, you see them light up.
Right.
So,
Bobby, what's your role in helping out here with Boaz?
So I'm one of the handlers too. I was a ministry partner first. Usually we go out in teams of 2. We have a ministry partner and the handler is in charge of the dog. And the ministry partner is there to help interact with any of the people that are around us and try and keep the lines moving if there are lines, and just to explain things while the handler can take care of the dog and make sure that he is protected and doing what he's supposed to be doing. So I did that for a year, and then I became a handler just this last winter.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the breed of dog, what breed is Boaz?
So Boaz is actually a golden retriever.
Right.
He gets mistaken for a Great Pyrenees quite often, but the whole program uses that, and they do range in color from this white to the very red color of the golden retrievers. So
I guess maybe is it something about the color of the dog that can be comforting, or does it make any difference?
I think it's just golden retrievers.
Right,
It's
right.
the demeanor of the dog,
Yes.
and they're recognizable because they are all golden retrievers.
Yeah. And so somebody sees a dog like this, and they see a big cuddly dog, and they just want to, put all their cares and all their troubles aside and just love on this dog. And obviously, Boaz is trained to give love back, right?
Yes.
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 Does he lick your face, or?
Not supposed to. No.
No. Well, Boaz, I'll tell you what, buddy, I sure wouldn't mind, growing up around a lot of dogs over the years. I can see where they are very comforting. They talk about, when you bring a dog into your life, how that dog can help with your blood pressure, which I need all the help I can get. And of course, another aspect of is exercise, I recently adopted a dog, and so I've been walking a lot for the last 2 months, and my wife says, whether she means it or not, hey, looks like you lost weight. So, but again, with the situation surrounding Boaz, what type of training does he go through? Bobby, you're just becoming a handler, or you're at that stage right now. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
All of the dogs have 2,000 hours of training before they are assigned to a church or a school or whoever it is that has him. And so he has a wide variety of commands that he can do. They teach him to rise up and sit on somebody's lap, like we're in the nursing home or the cancer center.
That's great.
And we get him off safely. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the other commands
Most
that he
of
does.
the commands, it's not a trick. He doesn't give you his paw. But the commands that he's taught are to, number one, he needs to have good manners in public. Number two, it's so that we can bring him as close as possible to those people that we're serving.
Right.
So like the lap, like Bobby said, or even rise onto a hospital bed if that person can't get out of the bed. So we do those types of things.
Does he instinctively pick up on people's, like their vibe and react to them? Like, for example, do you have to give him a command to jump up on a bed, or would he normally just do that, seeing that, dogs can pick up all kinds of different energy, but is it instinctive to him to be able to go into a situation and just kind of react?
He can kind of tell. You will notice if especially if there's a group that he's focusing on one particular person or another. But he's not allowed to move without commands.
Oh.
So, including eating, going outside, the whole bit. He does everything on command.
Well, I guess maybe that is kind of the regiment that you have to get a dog
Yes.
like this into, so they understand first and foremost that they're serving a purpose, and you always kind of wonder whether or not the dog that is being utilized is understanding of what is going on around them, and that they realize that somebody benefits from having them, in the general vicinity. If it's some of the things like we talked about. I know that you and I, we spoke earlier. We actually did an interview over on Key Radio, and you said, and while I found it a little hard to believe, that there was a woman who gets chemotherapy. Tell us that story.
So we had gone to visit just our regular Thursday afternoon visit, and we made it about halfway through the patients, and virtually everybody likes to see him. So this lady touched my heart because she, number one, she just talked all about the book of Boaz comes out of the book of Ruth in the Bible, and she told me all his story, which was really sweet. And then she said, I've told my nurses here that Thursday, on the day I come for chemo, is my favorite day of the week.
Can you believe that? Somebody receiving chemotherapy is actually, I guess, excited to be there because Boaz shows up. How often do you go out and see those folks?
We see the Cancer Center 6 times a month.
Right.
So every other Monday and every Thursday.
Now, I guess another question to ask in all of this is, do you reach out to people? Do people reach out to you? And how does that work? And if so, how do we get people to make the connection? So if they would like to have Boaz come out and
so it
offer
works
to-
both ways. It really does. Early on, we reached out because nobody really knew about him, and he came here in the middle of the pandemic in 2020, so we had some limitations on what we could do. And then as people get to know him, more people would call us. So that's kind of how it all started. The reason we ever ended up in the hospital in the first place is during one of the surges, they asked us to come in and cheer up the staff.
Wow.
Because they were so exhausted from the COVID not going away and getting worse. And that's how we ended up at the Cancer Center, is just the director said, hey, could you do this? And that's how a lot of this happens now, is word of mouth.
You mentioned, situations that maybe require some comfort in terms of, the young girl that was unfortunately killed in the traffic accident. And here recently with what happened down in Texas, you had told me a story about some comfort dogs going in.
Yes, we will have the guiding principle when something of this nature happens is that we have paws on the ground in 24 hours. So we have one dog that will be arriving there this morning, and then they will come in shifts. There'll be 4 or 5 there by this evening or tomorrow, and they will stay for a while. They'll go home and they'll bring in another set of dogs.
Wow.
So they may travel from all over the country to be there.
And who knows how long it's going to take, but as long as there's a need, there will be a comfort dog there to fulfill that need.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's incredible. We got about a minute or so left, and before we let you ladies go, and you too, Boaz, talk to us about how people can reach out to you if there is a need for a comfort dog.
Okay. Do you have the card?
Yeah.
So they can always call Christ the King. And he also has a Facebook page, which is Boaz Comfort Dog. If you just search that, you'll find his page. His email, this is the part I can never remember, is boaz@caninecomfort.org.
Did a fine job.
So yes, and you can follow all the comfort dogs. They all have social media, and it kind of lets everybody know what they're doing.
Oh, there he goes. I think he said something like going, and he's like,
yes, Boaz down.
It's time to go.
Boaz down.
Well, we appreciate both of you ladies coming in. Bobby, thank you.
Thank you.
Debbie, thank you very much.
Yes.
And thank you so much to Boaz, doing a wonderful thing for people in need and providing that aid and comfort in tough times. Folks, stick around. We're back with more coming up on What's Burnin' right here on Lake TV.
Enjoying What's Burning with KB right here on Lake TV? Have questions, comments, or suggestions? Have an interesting story for KB to tell? Or maybe you want to be interviewed by KB on the show or are interested in sponsoring? All you have to do is reach out to KB at kb@mylaketv.com.
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
Hey Jess. Yeah, Nicole, what do you need? Did you see that new listing in Sunrise Beach?
Yeah, it was just listed 2 minutes ago.
It has 150 feet of lakefront. And a brand new kitchen. I'm headed out there after I type this email. I'm on the phone with my clients. Hey, where are you going?
I already put an offer in, cash above list, and it's looking good.
Are you kidding me?
You want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it. Want to get to know local leaders a lot better? Join Lake TV for a new community spotlight show weekdays at 9, 3, and 7. We talk with local leaders to get their story and learn more about their organizations. It's the Community Spotlight Show on Lake TV.
Hello and welcome in to another adventure at Ozarks Cat and Canine. KB here. It is KB's Furry Friends, presented by our veterinary at the lake. Mary Meow Me Tilly, and who we got here today, Mary?
Today we have Marlin.
Marlin.
Hey, Marlin.
Marlin is a cool-looking little cat.
Yeah.
He is, how old do you think?
We think he's around 6 years old.
6 years old.
So he came into us, a guy pulled in one day on a Saturday and said, a friend dropped this cat off with me and I don't want it and I need it to go somewhere. I'm going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So pulled him out of the kennel and he was just terrified.
Poor guy.
Probably long car ride and all that. He was very stressed out. Just clung to me. So he seemed like he was going to do okay and took him in. And then all of a sudden he just got terrified for a while in the shelter. Wouldn't come out. For the longest time we thought we had a barn cat here.
Uh-huh.
And so when we took him in to get neutered, he was doing the spraying and all that and just very stressed out. Took him in to get him neutered, which fortunately stopped the spraying.
Good.
And thinking that we were probably going to have to adopt him out as an outdoor cat, we got him ear-tipped.
Mm-hmm.
And then our girls started working with him, and we started getting videos and photos of him laying in one of the employees' laps, and really started coming around, and now he is just a little love bug.
I was just going to say, obviously, there was a lot of stress involved on him getting here, and then not knowing what was going to happen to him when he got here.
Right.
And now that he's kind of got a little bit of a routine, and cats are animals that like to have a routine. Well,
Yes,
at least
yes.
the ones I've got at home.
Cats do not do well with change
Right,
at all.
right.
So any little change like that, he went from whoever had him to somebody who obviously didn't want him. So there's no telling, how he was treated there.
Exactly.
And then a long car ride, and then showed up here in an environment with other cats and hearing dogs and all that. And poor boy was just stressed to the gills. But
Does Marlin have any special needs, or is he just finally at a point where he's kind of mellowed out a little bit and might make a good cat for a family?
Yeah, we don't know how he'll do with dogs. He does fine in here with the other cats. But the main thing to remember with him, no special needs at this time, but because he is a little bit older, we think he's around 6 years older, so that he will be approaching that age before too awfully long that medical things can happen. So anybody who would adopt him would just need to know that, that he is on the older end of the adoptable spectrum.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I tell you what, dogs and cats that are older, sometimes they're a little bit more broken in. Maybe you don't have to do things like potty training if that's not something that you want to deal with. But old Marlin here, he just needs a cool place to hang out with some cool people, and there's probably some folks out there watching this right now that see old Marlin and think, yeah, he would be perfect for us. So I want to ask you about something that you folks do. When I ask you the age of an animal and you give me the age, you say you base that on their teeth, and how and explain how that works.
So the first thing we look at is to see if they have their adult teeth in, and if they are all in. So that tells us, are we looking at a kitten or an adult? And then when we have an adult, if they have all their adult teeth in, are they bright white, meaning they're probably around a year old? Are they just starting to get a little bit of tartar on them, which puts them closer to 2 to 3?
Okay.
With cats, when they hit about 5 years old, they start getting grooves in their canine teeth.
I see.
So if they have the grooves in their canine teeth, then we know they're at least 5, and then we can just go by the condition. It's not an exact science, because just like with Dolly Parton, we really think that she's a lot younger than her teeth indicate, and that different factors can make their teeth age faster. If they were malnourished, if they were outside for a long time. Sometimes outdoor animals, if they can't find food, they will eat rocks, they will eat bugs just to get something in their belly. And so that can really tear up their teeth and make it a lot harder to age them.
Let's hope they're not eating too many rocks. What about a cat that comes in with dentures? You ever see a cat with dentures?
No, we haven't. Seen some come in that probably could have used them, though.
Oh. Well, Marlin is such a good little guy. Now that we've got him mellowed out here at Ozarks Cat Canine, come by, give him a look-see, and see if he would not be the right cat for you and your family. Of course, you can ask a myriad of questions and find out all about him. And what's nice is any animal that goes out of here, you give them like an information packet that's got some of the specs, some of the things that they've been able to find out, depending on maybe if the owners provided enough information or just working with them and finding out what condition they're in and what folks need to keep in mind when they adopt. This is Marlin, and he's here at Ozarks Cat and Canine, and he's on KB's Furry Friends, right here on What's Burnin' on Lake TV.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Moving to the lake is a lot of work, but not with Sunrise Movers, where we do the hard work for you. For packing up and delivering to your new home or simply loading and transferring your belongings, Sunrise Movers is the easy choice for your next move. Sunrise Movers packs your possessions extra carefully, shows up on time, and strives for 5-star customer service every time. Sunrise Movers, the official movers of Lake TV. Give us a call today to get a free estimate. Sunrise Movers, where we do the hard work for you.
It's our most protective wash yet. Introducing the Quick Car Ceramic Wash. It's an industrial-grade polymer solution with ceramic nanotechnology, resulting in high-end, advanced scientific protection of your vehicle's finish. The Quick Car Ceramic Wash. Try it on its own or with the monthly Unlimited Wash Club today. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time. Now open in Camdenton with new locations in Jefferson City coming soon.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all.
Hey, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and remind you that Lake TV is a great place for some of your other favorite programming. For example, Cup of Coffee with Will and Chris and the Community Spotlight. Chris is going to be talking with Paxson and Pax St. Clair, father and son, the new owners of Somerset Boat Lifts, and Nadine Kelsey. She'll be on to talk more about the Pregnancy Help Center here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Don't forget the market update, the monthly market update with the O'Sullivan Bruce Group. Plus, there are some great places to watch Lake TV. Check it out on Como Channel 90, Roku, and of course, mylaketv.com. Check out Lake TV's Facebook page with nearly 40,000 followers, and I hope you're one of them. If you are, tell your friends, tell your neighbors. If you just stumbled across us, we'll be back again next week with another show. Actually, it's more of a best of show because I'm going to duck out for a little while and have a little fun and hopefully come back to do more shows. I want to thank our great sponsors, man, oh man, SRG Financial Advisors. We can't do it without the wonderful support of Bill and Janice Lacasse, one of our many great sponsors, including the folks over there at Budget Blinds. How about it? We got to get her in here and talk to her one of these days soon. It's Budget Blinds time. Plus the folks over at Ozark Barge and Dock. Of course, our veterinary at the lake. And we can't do it. We just can't do it without the support of Culligan Lake of the Ozarks, the official bottled water, of What's Burnin' right here. As a matter of fact, let me take care of that problem. People often wonder if I actually drink the water. Well, of course I do. It's Culligan Lake of the Ozarks. I love their water. Stick around, folks. We've got a lot coming up, including times for you to watch this particular program, a new show every Thursday, and we're on the air at 7 a.m., 5 p.m., and 11 p.m. Whatever you do, be safe, and whatever you do on top of that, get back here and see us again on What's Burnin' on Lake TV.